beginner's award. So yeah, I am. Oh well, Dion Barrian. We've got Gina trying to join us as well. So let's say yes, please to that. I'm going to turn my light on. A little bit unprepared today, Bill, but it's all good because I've got a nice certificate with my name on it. But Bill, we're here to talk about Pembrokeshire sport, and it's been, as I say it every single week, it's been another busy week, hasn't it?
Yeah, loads of stuff going on, Tom. Lots of congratulations, nice things to say. Got some nice interviews ready for Monday. I've got Sean O'Sullivan boxing theme this week. I'm going to talk to Sean O'Sullivan, who won the Box of the Night last Saturday on Graham Brockway's successful show. And then I'm going to speak to his dad, Wayne, who's the co-organizer of the White Collar events, as you know. And they're now 4 weeks into their training camp for their next show. 4 weeks gone already. Tickets are on sale, and a great ambassador for sport football with Goodick, as you know, and now with the boxing as well, Welsh International. So 2 nice interviews to start the show for you on Monday.
Oh, fantastic. That will be Monday evening, the Sports 7 with Ethan Evans and Morris. And of course, I know, Bill, you could make it to the boxing in the end, but I've heard I've heard a lot about it on Saturday. From the rumorings, is everyone pleased with how it went, of getting the talent and the caliber that came down to the Park House?
Yeah, there's some very, very close bouts, and strangely, because it's often a thing that if they split decisions, they go the home camp's way. It always seems to work, but it didn't this time. And Merlin's Bridge, lost quite a few on split decisions, but they won quite a few as well. So Sean has won, and his brother lost on a split decision, but won the best bout as well. So there's been a lot with the boxing, and I say that the White Collar events, there's huge anticipation. Tickets, the places are all booked. I spoke to Jack Clancy last night. He's about 17, 18 stone, second row with Haverfordwest. He'll take some matching up because there's not many guys his size want to box, but he's a hard man on the pitch. He's going to have a go there. So I'm looking forward to that. Yeah.
Oh, well, in fact, I'm just going to bring in Gina Jones here, actually. Morning, Gina.
Oh, good morning. You won't believe why I'm late this morning, actually.
Good morning, miss.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I couldn't get my trainers on.
Why do you want your trainers on?
Well, I've got to get down into work, haven't I?
Oh, you're in work, sorry, yeah.
Whoops. And then, well, in fact, Gina's been feeling smug, actually, because she's been guessing all these football teams. We've got another full Division 1 football round, haven't we, Bill, coming up?
Yes, we have. There's
for the weekend.
Plenty of games going on. Carew are at home to Monkton Swifts. That's 7th against 3rd. So that's a bit of a local derby in some ways. There's always been a close rivalry there. Interesting game at Claverson Road. They're bottom at the moment, and they're entertaining Hakin United, who are still smarting from their defeat at home to Goodick last week. I'm sure I'll ask Gina to tip that one. I'll make it easy for her. Kilgetty, who are 6th, entertain Goodick, who are top and delighted by last week's game. Nayland are 9th, and they're playing Merlin's Bridge, a strong 2nd at the moment. And last but not least, St. Ishmael's, who are bottom but 1, are playing Fishguard, who are 8th. So, Gina, here's your chance to redeem yourself after last week now.
Oh, go on then.
I'll give you the tip there. Claverson Road, 12th, home to Hakin United, who are 5th, but would be 2nd or top if they played, behind because of cup games.
Well, I've got to go with Hakin then.
That's the girl. I think you'll be...
I might be... Well, you never know, though, Bill. This is the thing of sport. You never, ever know what is going to happen. You can predict it, but you never actually know.
You're right. But if you're wrong this time, you better not come on next week because they'll be... County Weld.
I suppose... one of the big surprises there, which I don't think a few people foresaw because their team's so young, is how well Merlin's Bridge are doing at the moment.
Yeah, they're up on the upsurge again. They've gone through a couple of years of sort of building again after losing a lot of key players. There's exciting times for them. Of course, they're hoping to go back to their natural home in the Bridge soon as well. So, yeah, all positive for Merlin's Bridge. They're a bonny bunch, and I hope they're really on an upsurge now.
Oh, fantastic. And then moving to the other shaped ball then, Bill. First of all, we've got the championship. Arbeth are away to Cardiff Met. Cardiff Met are on... on a different level, aren't they? Their rugby and their football, they compete at the top level.
Yeah, but of course it's a university that loves its sport. And if you look at there, I spoke to one young fella last year who went for trials for the football there, and he turned up and there were 276 players looking for a first team game. That gives you a fair bit of choice, doesn't it? Not many people have trials. Yeah, that's it. That's in Cardiff, mate. They're close. They're 7th and 6th respectively. One sad bit of news with that: we've got the first game called off this time of year for COVID, Tom and Gina.
Oh.
Yeah, Fishguard and Goodwick were home to Mumbles. That's traditionally a hard-fought game in the best spirit, and that's already called off because there's COVID in the Fishguard camp.
Ooh.
So people wouldn't need to go there on Saturday. They'll find somewhere else to go, I'm sure. In Division 1 West, there's a nice game at Crymych, who are entertaining Pembroke. Now, Crymych is second, and Pembroke are bottom of the table. They haven't won a game. They're finding it hard going. Coach Geraint Lewis and his players can't fault their effort. It would have been in their interest if they'd got relegated last year, but it didn't work. There were no relegations, so they're battling on. They're a young side and they're going to get better. There's no doubt about that. So Crymych home to Pembroke, and Whitland travel to Newcastle Emlyn, who are a third. So that's going to be a hard game. Whitland game called off last week. If you remember, you mentioned it on your Monday show about Rob Benjamin. If you just allow me to add to that, my thoughts as well. He's a great character at Whitland RFC, a long time friend with our family, and Anne-Marie, his lovely partner, the same, and Gethin and Sean the boys. I did a little tribute on my website to Tom and Gina, and it's the most we've ever had. 22,500 hits. 22,500, yeah. 60 comments with huge respect and 160 likes or sad. I've never known this. So there's a mark of respect. So good luck to Whitland tomorrow. I hope they'll enjoy their game there. In Division 2, as well as Fishguard being off, Milford Haven won last week. They're playing at home to Carmarthen Athletic. That's 11th versus 10th, so chance for the Mariners to get their first league win there. And Tenby United, who are playing well, they've got a young side, blimey. T. Croyce, they're travelling to 9th versus 6th. I was talking to Tenby coach Jonathan Evans in midweek, and he was telling me that's almost 20 players under 18, or 18 and under, who've had the chance to play for the Seasiders in his regime. What a tribute. It's fantastic. And last but not least,
that's fantastic, isn't it?
Yeah. And last but not least, in Division 3 West A, Haverfordwest is 7th and home to Cardigan, who are 11th. Langham and Larne are at Pill Parks, 9th versus 3rd. Local derby, one moving across the bridge or the other. Neyland, who are 8th, are at home to Pembroke Dock Harlequins, who are 6th. And last but not least, the mighty Battle of the Saints, St. Clair's, who are top, home to St. David's, who are 5th. So loads of rugby, Tom, and there's some junior rugby as well. We're trying to cover that in more detail on Pembrokeshire Sport at the moment because they deserve it. There's not enough teams playing at youth level now, so we're hoping to be able to publicise, and we can do the same on air, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And then for the rest, of course, they'll be buoyed by their win over Cumberland away at the head of the valleys there.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And also,
sorry, Tom, go on.
No, you go.
I was going to say Haverfordwest are in an unusual position to be in 7th. They will, I'm sure, win on Saturday, but we'll see. And they shouldn't be 7th in the blinking table, that's for sure.
And St. David's might be surprised that they find themselves in 5th after the last couple of years. They've really come out this season really playing well.
Yeah, they're playing against a very good St. Clair's side who recruited very well in the pre-season, so it's going to be interesting there. But St. David's will have to play well there. They lost last week in the Cup, which put their success into perspective, but they'll go there looking to win.
Yeah, and looking at the indoor cricket then, Bill, there's a men's league and the women's league in full flight at the moment, and there's some entertaining things going on down there.
Yeah, that's keeping me busy at the moment, that's for sure. But I enjoy having a quick look occasionally. I popped down to the men's indoor on Monday. Mrs. Carne gave me a card to escape, and I went down there to watch. And some good games. Neyland showed their pedigree, really, Neyland A. They played against Pembrokeshire, and they're two of the top three sides, I would suggest, along with Llanrhian, who were playing very well. Neyland easily beat Pembrokeshire. They had a strong side out. They exerted the pressure early on. They're a good side. And then Llanrhian beat Neyland B, who are also a very strong side. And Llanrhian, Dav Williams, who's a good rugby player as well, was St David's. He batted really well to give them the verdict there. And Pembrokeshire B beat Haverfordwest. Years ago, that would have been a huge surprise. But Haverfordwest are reforming now, trying to regroup. So no real surprise there. And then in the women's indoor, I'd like to spare a thought for Carew. They lost their 2 games heavily. They were without a couple of key players, and they're a development side. It's the first year, and I'd just like to say well done to Carew for giving it 100%. And to keep going, ladies, because it will get easy. You see the other sides, that's happening as well. So in that, Carew lost to Neyland. Criselli, 91 for 5, beat Carew, big score there. Then Neyland lost to St Ishmael's. Now there's proof. Last year, Tish didn't win a game. This year, they won that there. Neyland 54, St Ishmael's 56 for 1. And then St Ishmael's lost to Criselli, who were one of the best sides there. They're very experienced. But a couple of performances there. Maddie Potter from Neyland. That's Danny Potter's daughter, who's captain of Haverfordwest for years. She's only 14 or 15, and she's playing, blimey. She took 2 for 3. And Phoenix Phillips, who's another very talented 14 or 15-year-old from Criselli, the daughter of Christian, who's a good cricketer. She was amazing. What about this? Tracy Chandra started to play for St Ishmael's. She scored 25 not out, retired then in the first game. And in the second game, she scored 51 out of a total of 68 all out.
Oh, wow.
So that's simple. And Kelly Midgley was an experienced player at Neyland as well. She played well and scored 36 out of 60. Some individual performances that were extremely good there.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And you mentioned there about St Ishmael's women coming back and now winning games, having not won anything last season. And then Haverfordwest men, they are in this period of rebuilding. Just how impactful do you think this indoor season will be for their new season in Division 2 when summer comes around again?
Well, it's going to play an influence, but I always feel it'll be for the better, because if you take Haverfordwest, there are a couple of players emerging there that we've not seen before. Dan Hopley is one who's not played, for many years in Haverfordwest. And under new captain Chris Phillips, he's very keen. He'll certainly lead by example. His dad, Mickey, was the same. We've had him on here before. Haverfordwest is a period of transition. They're in the second division for the first time in 50 years. It's a good place to rebuild from. So let's hope that they do well with that. But it swings and roundabouts in sport, Tom. You enjoy the successes. You put up with the non-successes.
That is a very, very good point. And there's also then when you go through the ups and downs and you become Mr. Reliable, as it were, you want to pay homage to Russell Minns, don't you?
Yeah, I think it's nice if we mention someone. Russell would tell you he wasn't the greatest rugby player. I think he played a fair bit of football when he was up north. Came to Tenby 25 years ago. He is absolutely their Mr. Reliable. He's their assistant referee on the Saturday, so he's the one with the flag, runs up and down the touchline getting stick from the opposing spectators. But he attends every training session. He puts all the kit out. He puts all the kit back in. He puts all the training cones, everything like that. He never misses. And it's a nice thing. I'm doing a little thing at the moment called Around the Touchlines, where I'm talking to characters from the clubs. I've spoken to Tony Bowen from Whitland and Jack Dudley to start it off. Russell was number 3. Huge response, not only from players and officials in his club saying, well done, Russ, but from other clubs in the county saying, genuine character, nice guy. So that's lovely. Yeah, it is.
Yeah. That touchline job is something that I do quite frequently whenever I put my boots on for Broadhaven. It's a job that needs to be done, isn't it? And it keeps my steps up as well whenever I pop down there on a Saturday. So it's a good job to be moving on to. So well done, Russell. And you need someone like that in the club. There's a smile on their face, just picks up and does it. Sticking with rugby, actually, Pembrokeshire FC are looking for a ladies coach.
Yeah, the coach has been Rob Griffiths. I don't know if it's to help him or to take over. He's been brilliant. He started them off really there. And they're a bonny bunch. They love their rugby. I was talking to one of them this week I bumped into. And she asked me, would I mention it? And I said, yeah, of course, because they're keen to continue. And like every club, you need your officials and you need to have your coaches. Well, every club. Gina knows through Cliff, every club needs those people. It's like in cricket, if you play a game without your own umpire and your own scorer, and you've got to do those jobs, it spoils the game. You're not there to do that. You're there to play cricket. And so yeah, that's an important point, as you said, Tom, as well.
And then just quickly, you mentioned Rob Benjamin earlier, and that you've put this tribute on the website. You didn't actually mention the website. BerkshireSport.co.uk is where you can find the tribute there. And as you mentioned, so many people getting in touch. He must have been a larger than life character, and I almost feel that I've come to sports so late that I've missed out on all these characters. So it's great to read back on these tributes and find out just how impactful that we're for the communities. I think it's wonderful. And before you go, Bill, the Pembrokeshire Sport Pembrokeshire Awards, the nominations have closed, and I believe that you're in for a busy time.
Well, there's 183 nominations, which is a record. I'm delighted for Alan Jones, who organises it now, but a little sorry because it's so much work to get them all accessed.
I was going to say, this is fantastic, the nominations, but my goodness, the work that's going to be put into that.
Yeah, Fraser and I will be on the judging panel. I try not to make any votes. I see my job there as being able to fill in with the bits I know about sport to say, well, look, that person's won a Welsh cap or a Welsh championship, but there's only about 8 in the category traditionally in that boxing, say, or weightlifting, and then someone else has won it where they're taking part here with 5,000 people. So I try to just give a little bit of context. I hate having to vote. I'm a bit of a coward like that. I'm a fence sitter. But they're on the Friday, the 25th of November. And I would love to see you and Gina come to that, Tom, because it is an amazing night. That's where you see sport at its very best. I mean, for example, I think, I might be wrong, but I think I'm right in saying there are 31 coaches nominated in their category. Now, that's an immense number. Isn't it brilliant to see so many clubs recognising the work of their coaches? So that's good. Years ago in the past, we used to give every nomination. There's only going to be a winner and 2 runners-up. But I would like to see us go back as well. I don't know whether Pure West could do it or Valero or sponsors. Give a certificate to everyone, a highly commended certificate to keep and frame if they want. Because like you've got a certificate today, it means a lot, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So we'll see.
And yes, I'll show you my certificate here. Hello.
Oh, there you go. I haven't heard about this yet, you see, because I'm late to the programme.
No, there is something to be said about having that piece of paper, that recognition that someone has taken time to fill in your details, that you've had an impact on them in some way, particularly for the categories that they've been a pleasure to work with. They've achieved more than what you expected from them. They've worked really hard. All of these different values are so important, and it's nice to have that little acknowledgement. So who knows, Bill? You're on the radio right now. If powers that be are out there, then go on, print off some nice card and give people a little piece of paper to acknowledge it. Bill, as ever, a jam-packed Pembrokeshire Sports Update this morning. It's incredible the amount of things that happen in over 7 days, Pembrokeshire, when it comes to sport, particularly on this local radio day. We've covered 10 to Fishguard in sport and beyond as well. It's quite remarkable. And well, we'll do it all again next week, but I believe that you also have a song for us as well, Bill, don't you?
Oh, yeah. I can only picture 2 of their songs, but they're both songs. When they come on the radio, I love to listen to them. It's the Fortunes. And Gina's too young to remember them, but they were lovely singers. One of their songs was Here It Comes Again, That Feeling. Here it comes again, that feeling, here it comes again. I'll put everyone off it now. But they're magnificent. If you've got a chance to listen to that, and they're the best song, then you won't go far wrong. So thanks for letting me have a listen to that this morning.
Well, thank you very much, Bill. Thank you for singing it. I reckon BB Scone, if he's listening, he'll have you on the the Pembrokeshire Music Show as our local artist of the week. You better get here in the studio, Bill.
Yeah, I reckon I said it, not sang it. It's 7 o'clock in the morning, Gina.
Well, you sounded beautiful to me.
Thank you.
I haven't
Bill,
cleaned my
thank you.
ears out yet, mind.
No. But you've got your shoes on. That's the main thing.
That's the main thing. I can run now.
Oh, brilliant. Thank you so much, Bill, as ever, for the Pembrokeshire Sports Update. I look forward to doing it all again next week, where we'll have another round of footballs, of rugbies, of crickets, of everything in the middle as well. So thank you again, Bill. And we'll do again next. Coming up now, though, it is the fortunes for the one and only Bill Carne. Thank you, Bill.
Cheers. Have a good weekend.
Feel Good Friday.